It's time for a book haul. Hey, you guys, I have not done a publisher book haul in quite some time. So that means there is a giant stack of books sitting right next to me for me to tell you all about. Gosh, that was a hard sentence. We better get started because this video could be very, very long. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing very, very well. I hope that your reading life is going swimmingly. I had a great weekend. My friend Ryan and I went and saw Carmen Maria Machado talk about her new book, In the Dream House, which you guys know I loved. And then we're going to see Garth Greenwell later this week to talk about his book, Cleanness, which I'm almost finished with, which is freaking brilliant. So yeah, I'm having a good bookish week, and I hope you guys are too. Now, I have not done a publisher's book haul in quite some time with how everything has been. I'm behind the 8 ball, but I'm getting caught up. So I have a ton of books. So I'm gonna have to try to be really fast and really concise so this video is not so long. But get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR, because I hope most of these books wind up on it. Also, if you are so able, please order these books from your local independent bookstore and or get your library to do them. If you are a library reader, get those from your library as soon as possible. But I better get started. You better be ready because I have a lot of books to tell you about. The first book I'm going to tell you about is I Know You Know Who I Am by Peter Kispert. This is a short story collection coming out on February 11th, 2020 from Penguin. I do want to caveat that I do use the books and the dates that are on the advanced reader's copies that are sent to me to tell you the publication dates. For many reasons, publication dates do get pushed, so I apologize if I get any dates wrong. That doesn't mean you shouldn't pre-order them. It just means you may have to wait a little bit longer. I Know You Know Who I Am is a short story collection that focuses on the repercussions of the lies, the fibs, the farces, the tales we tell, and people who have to then live with the repercussions of doing those things and saying those lies and telling those stories. I will tell you, I've read the first short story in this and it is fantastic. It has one of the best sort of like first little 2-sentence paragraphs that, yeah, it's really, really good. I'm super excited about it. I do know it has some queer representation in it as well. So if you like short story collections like that are dealing with stuff about truth and honesty, I think I Know You Know Who I Am by Peter Kispert is right up your alley. Out from Penguin on February 11th, 2020, which February 11th is around the corner because the year is just flying by. The next book I want to tell you about is out from Riverhead Books on April 7th, 2020, and that is How Much of These Hills is Gold by C. Pam Zhang. Look at these end papers. This is an advanced reading copy, and look at how beautiful this book is. So this is the story of Lucy and Sam, I believe. They are 12 and 11-year-old siblings who are immigrants from China with their parents here in America during the gold rush. Their mother and father have passed, and they are trying to carry the body of their father somewhere in order to give him a proper burial. Now, I happen to know from my own personal reading that Chinese immigrants were extremely important and a big part of the American Gold Rush movement. So I'm super fascinated to see what C. Pam Zhang does with that story. And so that's How Much of These Hills is Gold by C. Pam Zhang out from Riverhead. And let's just take a moment. Her style is so cool. Yeah, so reader crush already. So I hope you guys get this one. I hope you get them all. So I don't know why I said that. You know, I want you all of them. The next book is actually out already, and that is Heart of Junk by Luke Geddes. I actually saw this book in the bookstore last night. I'm still sort of keeping my fingers crossed that Luke is going to make a West Coast tour so I can see him in person. But I will say this book has some phenomenal end papers. They are gorgeous, and I am a super fan of it. So Heart of Junk is sort of the story of this American antique mall, I think in Wichita, Kansas, that is basically going out of business. And there's a lot of hope on the fact that this sort of famous TV personality is going to come and maybe that will reinvent this antique mall and get sort of the business booming again. But the owners, there's a lot of empty stalls and it's just not looking good. But the people who are there in their stalls sort of have this bickering relationship that they aren't aware of a little girl that goes missing. I want to make sure I get this right. She is a toddler pageant princess, Lindy Bodo, who goes missing and could derail the visit of this famous guy who is coming there to hopefully save their antique mall. And I think what winds up happening is we don't realize how the antique mall and the disappearance of this little girl and the people in the antique mall is all gonna sort of tie together. I love this cover so very, very much. And this is Heart of Junk by Luke Geddes. I hope I did a really good job of selling that to you guys. And that is out from Simon & Schuster. You can get your hands on it right now. So it had a sticker on the front of it though that I had to take off to show you guys, and it's super sticky and it's driving me crazy. One of my most anticipated reads of the year is Sharks in the Time of Saviors by Kawai Strong Washburn. This is out from MCD through FSG, and it comes out on March 31st, 2020. Set in Hawaii, and I have to be honest with you, I can't even think of one book I've read set in Hawaii. I don't think I have. This is the story of a young boy who is lost in the ocean, and there's this sort of family folktale that he's brought in by a group of sharks, and his life is saved. And his family takes this sort of as a sign from the gods that they are blessed. However, things are not going so well in Hawaii at the time of the book. I think, let me make sure I get my time period. It's 1995, and there is the collapse of the sugarcane industry is going on at the same exact time. And the family is trying to make it through that. One of the brothers and one of the sisters go to the mainland in an attempt, but they really, to sort of get their lives going, sort of have something to go, but they really miss the island and miss their home. And then some sort of supernatural mythical stuff starts to happen. And yeah, I am super excited about this book for so many reasons. I think this cover is fantastic. And that's Sharks in the Time of Saviors by Kawai Strong Washburn, out from MCD from FSG on March 31st, 2020. Okay. Probably one of the most anticipated books of 2020 is the new Lily King, Writers and Lovers. I think this is her first book out since Euphoria that was such a huge smash success. I, again, think this cover is brilliant. This is the story of a woman. She is, how do I explain her? So her mom has recently died. A love affair has gone horribly wrong. She had all of this promise, I believe, to be like this famous golfer, but it sort of disappeared. So now she's working as a waitress in Harvard Square. But she really has these grand ambitions of being an artist of some means. And then she winds up falling in love with, or getting involved with, two very different men. And the way it says it here, it says, when she falls for two very different men at the same time, her world fractures even more. Casey's fight to fulfill her creative ambitions and balance the conflicting demands of art and life is challenged in ways that push her to the brink. So I am super excited about the new Lily King. I hope you guys are too. And that is Writers and Lovers, out from Grove on March 3rd, 2020. Grove treats me very, very well. Actually, all of these publishers treat me very, very well. I am so blessed. So blessed. Out from Counterpoint is Only the River by Anne Raeff. So you guys know that I actually did a video with Anne for her last book, Winter Keep Us Warm, I think it is. And this is her new story. It is a family saga about a family from during the war in Vienna wind up fleeing to Nicaragua. And the daughter there gets into sort of this relationship with this young boy. And then the sort of all is upheaved again when she and her family then move to the United States. We continue to follow her, and we also continue to follow the young boy Guillermo and his family as Nicaragua goes through its own civil war inside of its country, and then eventually all of this will come back together. So I'm a huge fan. I absolutely love her. She is absolutely great. I had a really cute story as I had posted the video of her and I talking about her last book, and then some months later I kept getting comments. She is an ESL teacher, I believe, or an English English teacher at a high school, and I would get all these comments about the fact that she was their teacher and that they really, really loved her. So it was very, very cute. So that is Only the River by Anne Raeff, out on May 5th, 2020 from Counterpoint Press. I'm trying to talk fast enough. I apologize if I'm going too fast. Now, the next two books were sent to me by an agent who who has sent me a bunch of stuff and I really, really like. They're not up my normal alley, but they sound like they could be up your guys's, and they sound like they could be really entertaining reads. So this is 9 Elms by Robert Bryndza, and I'm saying Robert's last name. I'm wrong, I'm sure. And it's a Kate Marshall thriller. This one actually sounds like something that will be fun to read, like if you need a summer read or a pool read. Yeah, I'm totally sort of on the edge of like, ooh, this one sounds good. This is a story of a young woman who is a young detective when she solves the murder of this serial killer slash, what's the word I'm thinking of? Cannibal. Yeah, a word that I don't say very often, so it doesn't pop into my head. However, in settling that murder or solving that case, it sort of destroys her whole entire life. So she winds up moving on and becoming a teacher in a small English town when a copycat killer comes up, and she is sort of drawn back into the whole situation all over again, bringing it all back to the forefront. If that sounds like your type of thing, or you are looking for that thriller or something like that to read by the pool on your summer, whatever vacation, spring break, that is 9 Elms by Robert Bryndza. And this is out from, I don't know this publisher very well. Let me make sure I get it right. Thomas and Mercer. And this one is out already, so you can get your hands on it right now. So there you go. The next one is a novel by Jason PInter. I believe this comes out March 1st. 2020, and this is Hideaway by Jason PInter, again by the same publisher. And I don't know much about this one, so let me see if I can. On the surface, Rachel Marin is an ordinary single mother. On the inside, she's a fierce, brilliant vigilante. After an unspeakable crime shatters her life, she changes her identity and moves to a small town in Illinois, hoping to spare her children from further trauma, or worse. But crime follows her everywhere. When the former mayor winds up dead, Rachel can't help but get involved. Where local detectives see suicide, she sees murder. They resent her for butting in, especially since she's always one step ahead. But her investigative genius may be her undoing. The deeper she digs, the harder it is to keep her own secrets buried. Now, that sounds like a lot of you will really like that book. I think that this is right up all of those mystery thriller reader alleys. So that is Hideaway by Jason PInter. This is out on March 1st, 2020. And again, this one is out from Thomas and Mercer. So thank you very much to Megan, who sends me stuff all the time. She's great. So thank you, Megan, very, very much. A book that actually came out that I am hoping to get a signed copy of when I am at Green Apple Books on the Park on Thursday, because I think she did her kickoff event there, and that is Meng Jin's Little Gods. This is out now from Custom House, and I am so fascinated by this book. And how do I explain it? So this book starts on the night of the Tiananmen Square massacre in China, where a young baby is born. That baby and her mother wind up, or that baby and the woman who takes care of her, I'm not quite sure if it's her mother, wind up in America. When she passes away unexpectedly when the main character is young, she takes her ashes and returns to China in an attempt to bury her and sort of get some answers about her life. And I love what it says here. In this way, a portrait of Su Lan emerges. Su Lan is the woman who saved this young girl on the night of the massacre. An ambitious scientist, an ambivalent mother, a woman whose relationship to her own past shapes and ultimately unmakes Leah's own sense of displacement. I read the first chapter in this already. It is very, very good. And yeah, so this is right there up on my TBR, and it is out now. You can get your hands on it, and it's got this gorgeous cover. So from Custom House, this is Little Gods by Meng Jin. There you go. Okay. Only 4 more, 5 more, 6 more, only a couple more. Black Sunday by Tola Rotimi Abraham is out from Catapult, and yeah, everyone needs an what am I saying? What am I thinking? Hold on. Okay. Nigeria has published some of my favorite literature and put forth some amazing authors lately on my radar. I'm sure that there are many that are not on my radar. But when I read about Black Sunday, and when I read the back to you guys, because they do a much better job than I will, you are going to want to get this one on your TBR, I promise. So this is out in February from Catapult, Tola Rotimi Abraham's Black Sunday. Twin sisters Bibka and Arika are enjoying a relatively comfortable life in Lagos in 1996. Then their mother loses her job due to a political strife, and the family, facing poverty, becomes drawn into the new church, an institution led by a charismatic pastor who is not shy about worshiping earthly wealth. Soon, Bibka and Arika's father wagers the family home on a sure bet that evaporates like smoke. As their parents' marriage collapses in the aftermath of the gamble, the twin sisters and their two younger siblings, Andrew and Peter, are thrust into the reluctant care of their traditional Yoruba grandmother. Inseparable while they are with their parents to care for them, the twins' paths diverge once the household shatters. Each of the girls is left to locate, guard, and hone her own fragile sense of power. That sounds really good. I want to read that right now. So that is Black Sunday by Tola Rotimi Abraham, out from Catapult in February 2020. Let's see, February 4th. So I think today. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. Another book that was sent for me that is coming out on February 4th as well is Everywhere You Don't Belong by Gabriel Bump. This is a debut novel coming out from Algonquin Books. And yeah, so this book sounds really, really, really good as well. So there are so many books, you guys, that sound so very, very good. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to read. I can't read all the time. Silly work getting in the way of everything. We have a new young protagonist is Claude McKay Love. Claude is a young black man in search of a place where he can fit. Born in the south side of Chicago, he is raised by his civil rights era grandmother, who tries to shape him into a principal actor for change. After a riot consumes his neighborhood, Claude decides to escape Chicago for another place, to go to college, to find a new life, to craft his own identity. But as he discovers, there's no escaping the people and places that made him. I think that sounds fantastic. I love sort of a coming-of-age tale as you try to get away from what you think you don't want to only find out that maybe it's what you need. So that's Everywhere You Don't Belong by Gabriel Bump. This is out on February 4th from Algonquin Books. Okay, 4 more, guys. Subtweet by Vivek Shara, and I'm going to hold that up there because I'm saying that wrong. This is out from ECW. I don't know where I heard about this. But one, I love that Subtweet, which is a book about a tweet. My friend Thomas over at Hogglestock and I were talking about this, but that it's about Twitter and tweets, and she's holding this like old-fashioned phone. I also think this cover is gorgeous. So we have 2 characters that are musicians by trade. They come together to sort of collaborate on their work. Something goes wrong, a tweet is sent, and it destroys everything. And I love the way it says here, with a single tweet, their friendship implodes, 1 career is destroyed, and 2 women find themselves at the center of an internet firestorm. Sounds really good, right? So that's The Subtweet by Vivek Shara, out from ECW, and this comes out in April of 2020, April 7th, I believe. April 7th. Okay. Next is a book that I am so excited about because I am a huge Colin McCain fan. So once I heard that he had a new book come out, and I don't think I can say this word, Ogon, and I'm going to hold that up there for you guys. So I listened to Google say it, and it's one of those words for me where it goes in sort of my head, and I just can't articulate it accurately. This is the story of 2 fathers. One is Palestinian, one is Israeli, and they have 2 young each of them has a young daughter. And sort of the story's pretext is both of the daughters are killed in different ways, and the fathers come together as they work through their grief. I don't want to know much more about this. I have loved everything I've read by Colin McCann. Oh gosh, I gotta remember. Let the Great World Spin. Loved that book. Probably one of my favorite books of all time. And also The Side of Brightness is also very, very good. So I'm excited about this book. The cover is kind of beautiful and hard to read. So this is A Pyragon by Colin McCain, and this is out from Random House on February 25th. 2020. This is going to be a chunkster of a book because the arc is already almost 450 pages. So yeah, it's going to be a big one, but I'm excited about it. Two books that are coming out that I have already started and or read. This is out from Tor Books. It comes out in February as well. I'm holding this up. This is called The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. And I am halfway through this, if you guys can see. So this is a fantasy saga, if you cannot tell. The main character is a young orc girl. At the beginning, she belongs to this religion where every year a young woman is sort of sacrificed to their gods. She walks into this cave with the blood of a goat and she is never seen again. Our young woman is the chosen woman on that. She goes into the cave and she, let's just say there's someone there, and she takes a different adventure and she becomes sort of the personal assassin to a wizard. And this is the sort of the adventure of that relationship. Many things happen. He has been exiled from his kingdom. They're going to go take it back. Once sort of everything works out there, you have another story that comes on, and they're in search of this object, and there are competing interests in this object that they think will change sort of the dynamics of all the worlds. Great world building, great characters, exciting story. Totally, absolutely loving it. I cannot wait to see how it ends. The problem is I know it's a series and I'm sad because I know that I'm going to love it and then I'm going to have a hard time. So that is The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. This is out in February from Tor Books. Do I have an actual date? Just February. So it's right around the corner, I'm sure. So yeah, get your hands on this. It has a beautiful cover. Last but not least is a book that I've already actually read, and that is The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. This is coming up on sale from St. Martin's on May 26th. This is exactly as it sounds. It's going to be one of those books if you guys like. I think the back says if you like the Chilbury's Lady Choir or the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, you'll like this book. Set just after World War II in England, this is about a group of people who love reading Jane Austen who come together to try to create a society to protect the items that are in their tiny little town where Jane Austen was from. They want to create sort of a museum. Totally fictitious in regards to the people and the way that it all works, the place, the city, the town, the objects, some of the big names, you know, that are all accurate and historical. But it is really Natalie's interpretation of this story of the creation of the Jane Austen Society. This book was absolutely lovely. Just like any Jane Austen novel, for me, I think the characters are what really make this book pop. It is a slow burn as far as plot. It's exactly what I said. So there's like some stuff that comes up and, you know, there's other things that sort of change the narrative, but it's really about the people and what they're going through and who they are. So that is The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner, out on May 26, 2020 from St. Martin's Press. So even though I tried to talk as fast as I possibly could, this video is still 23 minutes long. As always, if you're a return subscriber, I could not do this without you. Thank you so very, very much. If you are new to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you stick around, you subscribe, you like, and you come back for more because I can talk about books. As always, I encourage you to shop I'm having a hard time talking today. Shop locally, read globally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye.